There's a moment every man misses, not because he's blind, but because no woman ever explains it. And it happens the second her arms wrap around you. Most men think a hug is simple, a greeting, a goodbye, a friendly gesture. But if you've ever felt a woman hold you just a little too long, or pull away too quickly, or press into you in a way that made your heart race for reasons you couldn't explain, then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share will change the way you see every hug for the rest of your life. Hi, I'm Olivia, your host on Psychology Secrets with Olivia, and today we're diving into something incredibly subtle, but deeply powerful, the hidden emotional language behind a woman's hug. And before we go deeper, I want to talk directly to you. Yes, you watching this right now, because I know something about you already. You've had that one hug, the one you still remember, the one that felt different. Maybe it confused you. Maybe it gave you hope. Maybe it left you overthinking at 2 a.m., wondering, what did that mean? And here's the truth no one told you. You weren't imagining it. Her body was speaking to you. You just didn't know how to understand the language. And today, you're going to learn it. Because once you understand this, you'll stop guessing, stop overthinking, and start seeing clearly what she feels, even when she says nothing. You see, women are taught from a young age to control their words, to not say too much, to not seem too emotional, to not reveal everything they feel, but the body doesn't lie. A woman's body, especially in moments of closeness, reveals what her mind is trying to filter. And a hug is one of the rare moments where her emotional truth slips through completely. Let me explain something powerful. When a woman hugs you, her brain is not just hugging, it's scanning. In milliseconds, her nervous system is asking, do I feel safe with him? Do I feel calm or tense? Do I want to be closer or step back? Can I trust this energy or should I protect myself? She doesn't consciously think this, but her body responds instantly, and that response is what you feel. The softness or stiffness, the closeness or distance, the warmth or hesitation. This is why some hugs feel electric and others feel empty. Because a hug isn't just physical contact, it's emotional exposure. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine you meet a woman after a long conversation. You've been talking, laughing, connecting. Then comes the hug. If she leans into you naturally, her body soft, her arms wrapping with ease, that's not politeness. That's emotional comfort. Her nervous system is saying, I feel good here. Now compare that to a different scenario. Same woman, same situation, but this time her shoulders are slightly tense. Her arms go around you, but her body keeps a subtle distance. The hug is quick. That's not rejection. That's uncertainty. Her body is saying, I'm not fully relaxed yet. And here's where most men go wrong. They ignore these signals. Or worse, they replace them with overthinking. Maybe she's just shy. Maybe I'm overanalyzing. Maybe it didn't mean anything. But it did. It always does. Because a woman rarely hugs a man she feels nothing for. Even a friendly hug carries emotional data. Attraction, curiosity, comfort, hesitation, boundaries. Now let's go deeper. Because here's something most men have never been told. A woman uses a hug to feel you emotionally. Not just physically. She's sensing, are you grounded or anxious? Are you present or distracted? Are you confident or seeking validation? And the incredible part, she can feel this in seconds. Your breathing, your posture, your energy, all of it communicates something. Let's pause for a second and make this practical for you. I want you to think about your last hug with a woman. Ask yourself honestly, were you relaxed or slightly nervous? Were you fully present or thinking ahead? Were you giving or trying to get something from that moment? Because she felt that, even if she never said a word. And this is where emotional intelligence becomes powerful, because the more grounded and calm your presence is, the more her body relaxes, the more she feels safe to lean in. And when a woman leans in, emotionally and physically, that's when connection starts to deepen. Now let's talk about one of the most revealing parts of a hug, her hands. Yes, this detail alone can tell you more than her words ever will. If her hands are light, barely touching your back, she's holding something back emotionally. She's still evaluating you, still deciding if she can trust you with her softness. But if her palms press firmly into your back, that's connection. That's grounding. That's her body saying, I feel safe here. And safety is the foundation of attraction for a woman. Now, here's something even deeper. If her hands move slowly, naturally, slightly lower on your back, not in a sexual way, but in a steady, intimate way, that's vulnerability. That's rare. Because women don't express that level of closeness unless they feel drawn to you on an emotional level. And then there's the hug that most men never forget, the one with the squeeze. Not playful, not casual, but emotional. That squeeze, that's instinct. That's her body saying something her mind isn't ready to say out loud. And if you've ever experienced that, you know exactly what I mean. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a hug that felt too real to ignore? If yes, I want you to comment below. Tell me what you felt in that moment, because your experience might help someone else understand theirs. And if this is already opening your eyes, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover next goes even deeper. Now, here's a truth that might surprise you. A woman's hug often reveals more than her texts, her words, or even her actions, because she can control those things. But in a moment of physical closeness, her emotional guard slips, and what comes through is real. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood types of hugs, the tight hug, followed by a quick release. Most men think, she wasn't interested, but that's not always true. In many cases, that's a woman who felt something strongly and got scared of how much she felt. So she pulls away quickly, not because she doesn't like you, but because she doesn't want to reveal too much. She's protecting herself. And this is where emotional awareness matters, because if you misread that moment, you might pull away too, and the connection fades before it even begins. Now on the opposite side, there's the distant but heavy hug. Her arms are around you, but something feels off. Not cold, not disconnected. Just emotional weight. This is often a woman who cares, but is conflicted. Maybe she's hurt, maybe she's unsure, maybe she's overwhelmed, but she hasn't let go yet. Her body is saying, I'm still here, but something isn't right. And if you've ever felt that, you know it stays with you, because it's not clear, but it's not empty either. And then there's the most beautiful type of hug, the effortless one. No hesitation, no tension. She just leans in, naturally. Her body softens, her shoulders drop. She doesn't think, she just feels safe. That's not just attraction, that's emotional alignment. And that is rare. Now here comes the one that confuses almost every man, the lingering hug. Not too long, not too short, just long enough to make you think about it later. This is emotional conflict. She wants closeness, but fears what it might mean. She feels something, but isn't sure if you feel it too. So her body stays, while her mind hesitates. And that creates that pause you feel, that hesitation, that moment that stays in your memory. And if you've ever replayed a hug in your mind, this is probably the one. Now listen carefully, because this might be the most important part so far. A woman's hug is not random, it evolves. The way she hugs you today is shaped by how she feels about you now. And if that changes, her hug changes too. If her hugs become shorter, she may be pulling back emotionally. If they become longer, she's getting more comfortable. If her body relaxes more over time, she's starting to trust you. And if one day she hugs you like she doesn't want to let go, that's a woman whose heart is slowly investing. But there's also something harder to accept. Sometimes a woman gives you one last hug while she's still deciding. And that hug feels different, heavier, deeper, almost like she's trying to feel something clearly. One last time. That's not closure, that's conflict. She's asking herself, is this right for me or not? And in that moment, her body is searching for the answer. So the next time you hug a woman, don't rush it. Don't overthink it. Feel it. Notice it. Be present in it. Because in that brief moment, she might be telling you everything without saying a single word. And here's something I want you to remember. A woman doesn't fall for the man who understands her words. She falls for the man who understands her silence and a hug. Is silence speaking? Now, before we continue, I want you to stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to respond to each type of hug in a way that builds attraction, trust, and emotional connection, without saying a word. And trust me, this is where everything changes. Now let's go deeper into something that can completely change your relationships, how you respond to her hug, because understanding her emotions is powerful. but responding to them correctly, that's what creates attraction, trust, and emotional safety. And this is where most men unknowingly break the connection, not because they don't care, but because they react instead of responding with awareness. So let me guide you through this in a way that's simple, real, and something you can actually use the very next time this happens. Imagine this. She hugs you, and her body feels soft, relaxed, natural, no tension, no hesitation. In that moment, the worst thing you can do is overcompensate. Don't squeeze too tight. Don't try to intensify it. Just match her energy. This is something in psychology we call emotional mirroring. When you match her level of comfort, her nervous system feels understood. And when a woman feels understood without needing to explain herself, she feels safe. Let me give you a practical exercise you can start using immediately. Next time you hug a woman, do this. Before your arms even fully wrap around her, take one slow breath, relax your shoulders, and simply be present. No thoughts about impressing her, no pressure to make it perfect, just presence, because presence is felt more deeply than any technique. Now let's talk about a different situation. She hugs you, but you feel tension. Her body is slightly stiff. Her arms are there, but not fully engaged. In this moment, most men make one of two mistakes. They either pull away quickly out of insecurity or hold tighter trying to fix the moment. Both create discomfort. Instead, here's what you do. You stay calm. You keep the hug brief, respectful, and grounded. And most importantly, you don't take it personally, because her tension is not always about you. It could be her mood, her past experiences, her emotional state that day. This is emotional maturity, being able to hold space without reacting. And when you do that consistently, something powerful happens. She starts to feel safe, opening up around you. Now let's talk about the hug that confuses almost every man. The lingering hug. You know the one. She doesn't let go immediately, but she doesn't fully commit either. There's a pause, a quiet moment, a question in the air. In that moment, do nothing dramatic. Don't pull away suddenly. Don't say something awkward to fill the silence. Just stay grounded. Let the moment exist, because what she's feeling right there is emotional vulnerability, and vulnerability needs space, not pressure. Let me share a quick story with you. One of my clients once told me about a woman he had been seeing casually. For weeks, their interactions were light, playful, nothing serious. But one evening, as they said goodbye, she hugged him differently. She stayed, just a second longer than usual. And he felt it. But instead of staying present, he panicked internally. He pulled away quickly and made a joke to break the tension. That moment, it never came back, because she had opened a small emotional door, and he unknowingly closed it. Now imagine if he had simply stayed present, breathed, allowed that moment to unfold. That could have been the beginning of something deeper. This is why awareness matters, because connection doesn't grow in grand gestures. It grows in small, quiet moments like these. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful signals, the emotional squeeze. If she hugs you and there's a squeeze, not playful, not casual, but intentional, that's emotion. And your response should be equally grounded, not exaggerated, not needy, just present and steady. You gently return the squeeze, not stronger, not weaker, just aligned, because this communicates something very important. I feel you, and I'm here. Now, here's something even deeper. A woman is not just feeling your arms. She's feeling your emotional state. If you're anxious, she feels it. If you're trying too hard, she senses it. If you're calm and centered, she relaxes. So the real skill here is not about how to hug. It's about who you are in that moment. And this is where I want to give you something powerful. A mindset shift. Stop thinking, how do I make her like me? Start thinking, how can I create a space where she feels safe to be herself? Because when a woman feels safe, attraction grows naturally. Now let's talk about something very few people discuss openly. The emotional memory of a hug. You might forget conversations, you might forget texts, but a hug, especially an emotional one, stays in the body. It becomes a reference point. This is why some hugs stay with you for years, because they weren't just physical, they were emotional imprints. And the same is true for her. The way you make her feel in that moment becomes part of how she remembers you. So if your presence feels calm, grounded, safe, she associates you with that feeling, and she wants to come back to it. This is the psychology of emotional association. Now, let me ask you something again, and I want you to really think about it. When a woman hugs you, what do you make her feel? Comfort, tension, warmth, pressure? Because your answer to this question explains more about your relationships than anything else. And if this is making you see things differently, take a second right now and like the video, because this awareness alone can change the way people experience you. Now let's go even deeper. There's a moment before every hug, a fraction of a second, where she decides how she's going to hug you. You might not notice it, but it's there. Her body prepares. And that preparation reflects her emotional state toward you. If she leans in naturally, she's open. If there's hesitation, she's unsure. If she angles her body slightly away, she's protecting herself. These micro signals matter because they happen before the hug even begins. And once you start noticing them, you'll begin to understand her on a completely different level. Now, here's something important. Don't use this knowledge to manipulate. Use it to connect. Because manipulation breaks trust, but understanding builds it. And trust is what every meaningful relationship is built on. Let's talk about growth, because the real power of this isn't just reading her, it's becoming someone who naturally creates emotional safety. And that comes from working on yourself, your confidence, your emotional control, your presence. So here's a simple daily practice for you. Take 5 minutes every day. Sit quietly, focus on your breathing, and practice being fully present. No distractions, no overthinking, just awareness. Because the more present you become, the more grounded your energy feels to others, and that changes everything. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with something personal. Every man has that one hug he never forgets, the one that meant something, even if he didn't fully understand it at the time. And maybe now you're starting to understand it differently. Maybe now you realize she was telling you something through silence, through closeness, through a simple moment that wasn't simple at all. So I want you to share this. What's that one hug you've never forgotten? Drop it in the comments. Because your story might help someone else see their own more clearly. And if you want to truly understand women on a deeper emotional level, make sure you subscribe to Psychology Secrets with Olivia. Because here, we don't just talk about attraction. We talk about real connection. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And remember, the next time she hugs you, don't just feel her arms, feel her truth.